No, what are you doing? What are you doing?
No, I'm telling you the reality, whether you like it or not.
What are you doing?
Democratic voters in California love to obey. And so
oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I'm gonna move, Cenk. She took $1 billion that was donated to her and not only spent it on nonsense in the span of 3 months, her campaign went into debt. You want her running the budget in California?
This one is amazing. We've been watching as Lindy Lee, a woman who raised millions upon millions of dollars for Kamala Harris's campaign, is going around and basically throwing the Kamala Harris campaign completely under the bus for being lied to. She feels like she's been taken advantage of by Kamala Harris and the DNC, and she is not happy about it. Now, I don't know what this means for Lindy Lee as it pertains to her remaining in the Democratic Party. You would think that after this type of betrayal, that she would be looking for a better party, or at least backing off her efforts from fundraising so heavily for the Democratic Party. But her future still remains to be seen. And similar to Lindy Lee, for a different reason, Ana Kasparian has been waking up to the ways of the left, the ways of the Democrats, and she's not happy with it either. And in this one, Cenk Uygur says something that Ana Kasparian can't let go. She can't let it ride. So let's go ahead and check this one out of Ana Kasparian threatening to leave the Young Turks after Cenk Uygur says some more of his nonsense.
Some senior party officials said to be open to Kamala Harris running again in 4 years. Politico asking the question, are Democrats coconut pilled? Where are you on this future?
Well, that was Fox News anchor Bill Hemmer throwing to Lindy Lee, who's the DNC Mid-Atlantic Regional Chair. Probably not for long, because she is about to devastate Kamala Harris.
This is not what America wants. November 5th was a decisive defeat for the Democratic Party. She lost every single swing state. It wasn't a squeaker like it was in 2016. This was a resounding defeat. And right now, Kamala Harris is indulging in delusions of running for governor of California, possibly in 2026, or even president again in 2028. America has said this is not what we don't want to be coconut pilled. We do not want Kamala Harris. We don't want failed border policies. And I feel like I'm liberated and I can finally tell the truth that the Democrats completely failed on the border. Title 42 was a tremendous mistake, and no one is willing to say that. And you shouldn't be called bigoted or racist because you want strong borders for the United States. And you should be able to say that the economy was ailing under the Biden-Harris administration, that price hikes did indeed happen, but they denied that for the first 3 years of the administration. And when they finally did something, it was too late.
Now look, Lindy Lee is a bundler for the Democratic Party. She raised a lot of money for Kamala Harris's campaign, and she feels that she was lied to about how she was performing in the polling, lied to by the Harris campaign about the likelihood of beating Donald Trump. And so she's been making the media rounds, and you can tell that she is really soured on the Democratic Party. But someone who hasn't soured on the Democratic Party is Joy Behar, yet even she has some pretty harsh words for the Democratic Party and, more importantly, the Kamala Harris campaign. Take a look.
The thing the Democrats do that most politicians do, I think the Republicans did it back in the day with John McCain. It's like, it's your turn. Kamala's in position. It's her turn. Yeah. Joe Biden, he did not retire early enough so that there could be an open, what do they call it? Primary. Exactly. Thank you. That's a simple word. And yet, there would have been an open primary. We would have seen what was out there a little bit more. It's just as bad as what they're doing with Trump, which is this loyalty oath that everybody has to take and bow down and kiss his ring. Mm-hmm. It's not about who's the best person. It's about who do you feel is in the next in line to do the job with the Democrats and with the Republicans.
Before Ana continues, I want to ask you, did you hear what Joy Behar said right there about Joe Biden retiring from this election? I think that's the first time I've heard anybody say it that way, that he retired. No, he got completely demolished and exposed by Donald Trump in that debate. The mainstream media, the mouthpiece for the Democratic Party, could no longer maintain the lie that he was coherent and capable of running the country. So no, he didn't retire. He got obliterated and exposed by Donald Trump in that debate. Then the Democratic Party, weirdly enough, led by George Clooney, basically ousted Joe Biden. And it's still up in the air if it was really Joe Biden who posted that tweet, that post on X, bowing out of the competition. Because it was just a day before that, he was declaring on X as well, or maybe 2 days before that, he declared that he is going to beat Trump. So I don't know what happened in those 2 days. Your guess is as good as mine. But that's why people don't believe that Joe Biden was necessarily the person to even make that post. A lot of people think that he just woke up the next day and people were like, hey, by the way, you're out. The post is out there. The news is running with it and there's no going back. And furthermore, had he retired, wouldn't he have stopped running the country? Because as of right now, he's still the president. He's a lame duck president pardoning over 2,000 people. He just expedited the sentences of a bunch of violent criminals. So no, he didn't retire. So somebody tell Joy Behar that they don't need to cover for Joe Biden anymore. I guess just it's hard to kick those old habits. But let's continue with Ana Kasparian because we haven't even got to the best part yet.
Obviously implying, and this would be a correct statement, that Kamala Harris was not the best person for the job or the best candidate to run against Trump. And look, finally, even Jill Biden is taking some shots at Kamala Harris. If you don't believe me, take a look at this.
So I hope that you all feel that sense of, peace and light, and that just for a moment when you leave here today that you feel, a sense of joy. Because I think we all need like this, we all need to feel joy now during this time of the season, during this time. So anyway, okay, now I'll start. You're all reading into that.
Are we? Are we?
Yeah, so the rumors are that Jill Biden always hated Kamala Harris because of the one line in the debate back in 2020 in the primaries where she talked about how Joe Biden was in favor of segregation on buses back in the day, and then she never forgave her for that. Oh my God, Queen Biden, way to hold on to that grudge,
right?
And hurt your own party in 1,000 different ways just because you're bitter. Anyway, so now, speaking of bitter though, I'm a little bit bitter about The View. Because when we said Biden was too old, they were like, how dare you, right? When we said there should be an open primary, they said, how dare you? When we said, hey, the Democrats are asking for loyalty oaths and we're not supposed to be the authoritarian party, we're supposed to be more open, they're like, how dare you? Now all of a sudden The View is like, oh my God, you know what? Why didn't anybody tell us Biden was too old?
Yeah, they'll go back to the loyalty oaths, believe me.
Of course, The View is the masters of loyalty oaths. If you don't pledge for whoever is the establishment corporate robot, they'll take your head off on The View. So, Joy, I appreciate your new opinion, but it's very, very different than your old opinion, which is like a minute ago, and it dramatically different. By the way, there's one thing I disagree here. I think Kamala Harris will probably win in a cakewalk for governor.
No.
Okay.
No. What are you doing? What are you doing?
No, I'm telling you the reality, whether you like it or not.
What are you doing?
Democratic voters in California love to obey. And so
oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I'm gonna move, Cenk. I'm gonna quit my job.
I got you. I'm just telling you the reality.
Job and I'm gonna move.
I'm not saying I'm in favor of it. I'm telling you what's like if the Democratic Party said, we anoint Kamala Harris, a giant percentage of Democrats in California would go, yes, we obey. We will take the loyalty oath. It doesn't matter how bad she is.
This state cannot survive another incompetent Democrat leading it.
Leading it. Democrat like Kamala.
No, we just can't. Okay, anyway, so people are egging her on. Okay, apparently she's in a wait and see mode. How about you wait and see your way out of public life and go do what you're supposed to do. Go work in the private sector, go do the lobbying thing, whatever it is, but do not run as governor of California. Yeah. Do not.
So look, here's the thing that they still won't say that is definitely true, which is that she was a disaster. She was a terrible candidate, but it's still to this day with all their little, oh, golly gee, I wish somebody would have told us, right? But they're not saying the core thing, which is she was a talking robot and she could not answer normal questions like a human being. She had her scripts ready, and she would just take the script, her talking points, and match it to any question that you asked her. It was Sarah Palin-esque. Yes, I said it, and yes, she definitely deserved it. And no, we should want no part of her for any campaign at all, okay? And I don't know what coconut pilled means. That's a thing that people made up that doesn't even make any goddamn sense. Okay, and finally on Lindy Lee, the person say, so look, she's more conservative than I am, way more, and she's more from the donor class, etc. But at the same time, we don't have to drive everybody out of the party, right? So she has a different opinion on immigration, so what, right? And it turns out that was the majority opinion in America, even though portions of it that I might not agree with. But I brought her up because she said a word that a lot of people are feeling. She said, I feel liberated. And that's because the establishment in the Democratic Party is so oppressive that if you disagree 1% in either direction or any direction, they'll take your head off. And then after the election, pretending as if they're open-minded is just garbage. The next time they'll do the same exact thing and they'll demand your obedience and compliance with probably the very worst candidate.
And here you are, the guy that was so anti-Trump, he was this raving lunatic in your opinion. You are 100% in the bag for Kamala Harris. I don't care what you say. There's no way you went out there and voted for Donald Trump. You voted for Kamala Harris there, Jinx. So spare me your Monday morning quarterbacking. You are the dude that was out there telling us that Donald Trump was the worst thing on the planet.
I please don't run for California. Please, I'm begging you. Like, the Washington Post reports that as soon as she lost to Trump on November 5th, some Harris supporters seized on the idea of a gubernatorial run, including wealthy donors. God, these wealthy donors are going to be the death of me. Eager to see her take a leadership role in such a powerful post. Quote,
what leadership? She showed no leadership when she ran for president.
Leadership. She
Oh, here's my positions on price gouging. Oh, never mind. Mark Cuban and the donors say that I shouldn't have those positions, so I don't have those positions. Oh, I love the Palestinians, but I'm going to crush them.
Let me please finish this graphic, because of course, it's always the same people. The people that drove the conversation within 18 minutes of the election being called was the finance team.
Of course.
She took $1 billion that was donated to her and not only spent it on nonsense in the span of 3 months, her campaign went into debt. You want her running the budget in California? This is nuts. Okay, I mean.
Well, look, guys, there's two things. One, unfortunately, the Democratic leadership has gotten so used to being authoritarian that they think, well, of course, the dear leaders must always be promoted. And they should be around forever and ever until they're all 98 years old and we're wheeling them around, okay? So they can't stand the idea of someone new rising up and someone that would actually represent the voters. But that leads to point number two. Why stick with Kamala Harris when she was a broken robot? Why don't you go get a new and improved robot like Pete Buttigieg's corporate robot 2.0, right? And that's what they'll do at the presidential level. But why bother running her for governor? Because the finance team represents the donors, and the donors don't want someone smart and independent. They want someone just like Kamala Harris, so that they could say, oh, you're an empty vessel and you'll say anything we want? Okay, yeah, perfect, come here. We want to run California, so come on, empty vessel, let's go. And besides which, we've trained Democratic voters to obey the donor class. So if we just tell them that you're the anointed one, they will all obey. And if anyone dares running against you, we'll just smear the hell out of them. Like, oh, Katie Porter, you want to run? We'll just smear you, right?
Yeah.
Any progressive or any populist or anyone wants to run, we'll just smear them with all the money that we have. And by the way, and the media that we have, who's totally in our back pocket.
That's right, Cenk. That's exactly what you and the Democratic Party, the mainstream media, all did to Donald Trump when they ran opposed to Joe Biden. And then when Joe Biden was out, it was Kamala Harris, right? You ran smear campaigns against Donald Trump to make the world, to make the American voter, the Democratic apparatus, try to make everybody fear Donald Trump like he was some kind of Nazi Hitler, right? You were out here, Cenk, yourself saying that Trump is a maniac. You're out here saying that Trump tried to change the Constitution. You're out here saying that Trump tried to use fake electors in the 2020 election. You did to Trump what you are claiming the Democratic Party would do to anyone that opposes Kamala Harris in a gubernatorial run. I'll agree that you're right about one thing there, Cenk, that the Democratic Party should probably stop turning their back on other Democrats. Lindy Lee has been betrayed by the Democratic Party. And what is the thanks she gets? Now they're slandering her and calling her far right. And worse than that, okay? Stuff that I don't want to repeat. So I will admit, you're right about that one thing there, Cenk. And the fact that you said that Lindy Lee is more right than you are is proof to me that your little circuit that you just did on what you call far right media was all a grift. So anyways, I think I'll wrap it up there. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to hit that like button, share this video, and definitely if you are an America First type individual, you're in the right place. So please hit that subscribe button. Other than that, I want to let you know that you can catch me live every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday at 6 p.m. with the Jar Openers podcast that is on this channel, and at 6 p.m. Eastern, I should say. I also have a Discord that you can join. The link is in the description. And other than that, I'll just say thank you for watching to the end, and I'll see you guys in the next video.